Here we go. The time for the European deity votes has come, so we're going to have actually a few different votes this time around, so it should be a little bit more fun for everybody. So as I've said before, please wait till the end of the video before you cast your vote. There's a lot of things to go over here, so let's get started. In terms of the number one vote, we'll be having all the votes on the Twitter account, so this should be pretty interesting because I actually think we have some very interesting choices. So in terms of the number one spot, Germany actually made it, I think, into the possible winner, the winner's vote here, because Germany ended up piecing out with Spain for a city. And not just one city, also this city's at 25 population, but for two cities. So just on top of that, they got something else, and it looks like Germany's even attacking this city-state here, which is, it's about time. I mean, Felipe should have done that, but he didn't do that. Yeah, he definitely didn't take over the city, and I think he got pretty lucky, to be honest, because remember, he was having a tough time attacking northern Iberia. I mean, Spain has a lot of forces here, and I think Frederick was given a pretty big gift here at the very end, but he'll be in the vote nonetheless because he did manage to make an impressive move here in the late game. Now, Rome and Arabia are the other two choices. Rome didn't take another French city, which I thought he absolutely needed to kind of confirm his win. But nonetheless, Trajan still did really, really good. Keep in mind, he colonized all of southern France, all of the Italian peninsula. He grabbed a lot in between Germany, Poland, and Greece, and kept this on his own, like in his own territory. I don't remember who took this city. I want to say Rome took this away from Greece, but I can't remember. And remember, Greece was really strong in the very beginning of the game, so that was a pretty big deal. So yeah, Rome did really well, and let's also not keep in mind that they colonized North Africa too. Even if it's just one city, they still managed to do that. So Trajan did a really good job, and we've been talking about Saladin of Arabia for this entire campaign. Look at that, and he's now finally moving in after Egypt. It's very likely that Arabia is going to take this city. This is going to be really, really good because these guys have all kind of done things relatively late in the series that I think it's going to make it's going to be tough for people to choose between those three. So yeah, Arabia has always been kind of a focus point. They took out Egypt early on. Remember, they lost the city within the first like 50 turns, then grabbed it back and then just turned it around. And keep in mind, they were next to Samaria, who's like one of the best early game civs with those war carts. So this should be a very interesting vote. And they're also still at war with Scythia. There's still kind of a conflict raging right here, but they've defended their borders against Tomyris, which is pretty impressive too, especially because Tomyris looks pretty scary. But that's the number one vote. They all managed to actually take cities somehow, and they were relatively entertaining. The second vote, instead of doing like an honorable mention, we're going to be doing a colonization vote. So this colonization vote is for someone like Norway, which is kind of perfect, who didn't really do much in terms of war, but still was impressive with their continual colonization of this world that was pretty open. So yeah, I mean, they grabbed Denmark, which I thought was awesome, modern-day Denmark. Even though they got cut off by Germany, they still went after Finland, and they still went after Eastern Europe when everyone else kind of gave up. Look, they're still going, man. They're still going. So that's pretty good. Oh, Germany's out here too colonizing, which is nice. So yeah, Norway will be included in which civ did the best colonization in the game. Scythia, we got to give it to Scythia because especially now in the late game, she's actually trying to go up towards the north for the first time. She's got this settler sitting here, and she went from the Caspian Sea all the way over, grabbed Armenia and like the Caucasus Mountain territory, south of the Caucasus Mountain even. I mean, she went all the way down towards Sumerian lands here, grabbed north of the Black Sea, so I thought that Tomyris did a good job there. England, which, I felt like I needed to include them just because it was pretty impressive, the fact that they were able to colonize so far away with such and grab a pretty large chunk of North Africa, kind of Tunis, the Tunis region here, and then reinforce those troops and stay on top of kind of these two different empires far away from each other on the map. So I thought that was impressive. And then Spain, I mean, I know that Spain didn't do well. I mean, if you look at Iberia, it's hard to say that they should be in any vote. Maybe the next vote. We'll talk about that soon. But yeah, Spain ended up doing a lot in North Africa, nonetheless, even if they lost a bunch of territory in Iberia. So I felt like I needed to include them. Now, before I get on to the third and final vote, Greece was not included because I know people are going to be like, well, Greece is on the fence here. I thought about putting them in the number one position or for the number one vote. I mean, they did lose a few alliances, but Greece started off really strong, and they did end up taking the city, I think, in a peace deal to Poland. But I ultimately couldn't give it to them because, and keep in mind, I do realize that Greece also got this city. They looked really, really good. I thought Greece fell apart at the end, though. They had multiple opportunities to take cities, especially from Poland. They didn't. I mean, they took one city from Poland, especially from Rome. Remember, they had those Roman wars in the very beginning part, but they didn't really end up getting the job done. And I think this was the hugest thing. I ultimately couldn't put them in because the one rule I said is they couldn't have pieced out and given a city or lost a city. They just can't lose a city and then not get it back. Obviously, Arabia lost a city early on, but then got it back within a few turns later. So I think that was the one thing that kept me from putting them in. So I think that's kind of my explanation for why Pericles can't be in a vote. And then the final one is just for fun. We have a who did the worst vote. Egypt. Yeah, Egypt didn't do very well, and they actually are going to... Oh, look at that. So Arabia did, in fact, take this city. They might even grab the Egyptian capital, the now Egyptian capital, Luxor. Is that Luxor? Yeah, with 18 population. That is pretty impressive. We've got... Samaria, which I probably shouldn't have put them on the vote. I mean, they didn't do that well, but keep in mind the position they were in, and keep in mind the war cards that they had. They should have been... They honestly should have been the best civ. I thought they had the best opportunity of doing well. And as I said, I've done multiple tries in this playthrough, and things do play out differently. Samaria very often does the best, usually in the Middle East. This time around, they didn't. Spain, which is going to be in the worst civ vote, because man, as I said, look at Iberia. It is pretty big mess. It's a pretty big mess. Greece, I don't think it's, or I'm sorry, Germany's not going to take this city-state, I don't think. And then finally, Poland. Man, that sucks because Poland had a great opportunity here, I thought, of doing. I mean, they colonized a lot, but just look at this. Just look at this. It's so bad. I don't know. I know that this vote, there's going to be people that will probably disagree with me a little bit here with the vote, but I figured it would just be fun. In Poland, I don't know, man. This is kind of a huge mess. Why did this happen? I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be all my Twitter account. Not really doing the straw polls anymore because I just found those things are... I found it to be relatively easily manipulated, so I don't trust the straw polls as much, and I feel like it's a little bit more secure on Twitter. And then finally, you'll see another link. I'll be doing another kind of hint at the next AI-only battle kind of situation on my Instagram stories. So the next one that we do, I'm really excited for. I wanted to do it before this series. First of all, let me just say, I've never done anything like this before, even with Civilization 5, what I'm about to do in Civ 6. It's going to be very, very different from what I've done in the past. I'll leave like kind of a little bit of a hint on my Instagram on what I'm thinking, and it's gonna be really, really interesting. I don't really know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna do like a few test videos, and I'll publish them on the channel, and we'll see if we want to do like the full idea of it. But people have suggested this idea from the very, very beginning, and I'm finally going to do it. So it will be definitely something very fresh when it comes to AI-only battles. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I'll come back with the winners and their names in a couple days, and we will see what happens. But I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Definitely, we'll talk about kind of my final thoughts on the AI, and we'll kind of address the AI situation in the next video. But yeah, anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really curious to see who's going to win these polls. There's a lot of interesting votes, and I think a lot of interesting choices to be made, especially because in terms of like who actually won the game, I think it's pretty even, but that's not necessarily always the way you guys come up with it. A majority of people, might end up finding one civ doing better than others, but I think for the most part, in my personal opinion, it's kind of a hard choice. We'll have to wait and see. I'll kind of hold off my own opinions about everything in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.